Okay, back again with another live stream working on these computers. Let's see, the IBM is doing a virus scan. I started that yesterday. I think I mentioned it. I think I was on the live stream when I decided to do it. Anyway, it's run all night. It's still running today. It's 2:15 in the PM now, and it's already looks like it's well. It's hard to tell for sure, but it looks like it's probably already scanned the Linux 24 23 drive, and it's moved on to the Windows. It was a Windows 7 drive that I put in the machine to see what was on it and to see if it would be a candidate for a new drive for that machine. But anyway, let me get over here on the. I've got the ASRock running, the Fedora 27 ASRock. So I'll get on the camera. I moved the camera to a different spot to try to get a better, less blurry view of the screen. I don't know if it's any better or not, really. I didn't have to zoom in as much. So I got the ASRock already running, and I tested it a while ago, and I found out that you can't start it, their backup stream, if it's the other stream's not already running, it'll just start streaming. That's what it did. And so I went ahead and quit that video and deleted it because it was, I didn't want to do it. I wasn't ready. Okay, so yeah, now it should just be a backup stream. Leave it on camera too, and yeah, my Wi-Fi mic, phone mic will be the one it picks up. So wherever I'm at, it'll get picked up. And of course, right now I'm still using the SM58, but I mean that's what you'll be hearing unless my backup stream kicks in. I'm getting on the IBM. Let me listen. I want to make sure my sound was good. Okay, so on the IBM, I'll check in on the virus scan. See where it is. Okay, it's got well, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 that says Win malware DEMP, but they are all in Avast virus definitions. Defs, Avast, Defs, so and so number DAT. So those are just in Avast. But the system doesn't need to be running. All I want out of it is just any personal files that I might have forgot to back up. So I'm gonna, so I'll delete everything that says it's any kind of virus just to make sure. And then everything else, so far, it was just like the normal stuff in Linux. It shows up as a heuristics broken executable, which it isn't. It just shows, the virus scanners don't know how to handle those files. So, well, I mean, and it's telling you this is a possible problem. It's not saying this is. But I don't get why, since this is, KlamAV is made to run in Linux, why it always says they're broken. Linux executables are broken when they're not. Well, like I've said 100 times, I guess it's really only written thinking of Windows operating systems and Windows type viruses. So that's just how it does. So you got to learn that. Excuse me. Oh yeah, there's total commander deal file. Just thinks it's broken. It could be. And that's a deal file. Usually, if a virus scanner says the deal file is broken in Windows, it is, and it's infected. Not always, but I think it does that on that total commander deal files over time, though. And I think I've actually uploaded them before to like virus total, and it came up clean. But what else is there in there? GlarySoft, Malware Hunter, DAT files, yeah, Malware Hunter, and oh yeah, GlarySoft. Glary Utilities has a Malware Hunter too, the Windows utility that I like. And then there's a whole bunch of them. I've never seen this before, I don't think. Their users share squid errors. Actually, they're all squid. So I don't remember what program that is, but I think it's email scanner or something. But it says OK. It says not a virus, and it says OK. I don't know why it reported that. Maybe I have it set up. Maybe at some point I set up this particular machine to like tell you all, not just you know, problems, but every log, you know, logging everything. I don't know, but anyway, I'm just gonna let it keep working. I don't really have any idea how long it'll be till it's done, but once it's done, then I'll figure out. I think the drive, well, I mean, I can hear it well. I don't hear it as much now that I got these other two machines running, but I can hear it. But it didn't bother me. The funny thing is the tone that it makes when the fans running faster and have been ever since I started this scan. So the speed control of the fan does work in the IBM with that. I think it's that particular fan. It's a 4-pin fan. Could be the IBM, but I think it's the fans. Everything I've read and tried out of the fans I have, I think it's the fans. I think that some of them are just not. I've been saying wired differently, but really I think they have some more components in them because I read that in one of the good articles I found about. You know, when I was trying to figure out, can you use a 4-pin fan on a motherboard with 4-pin headers? And so anyway, it seems to work normally as far as that. It's just that when it's going really slow, or like medium speed or whatever, that's when it makes sort of an annoying noise. So now let's get to the let's see, I want to check let's get over here on the desktop and get to the Lenovo i5. I'm gonna have to because earlier today I was just on the internet, you know, looking at a couple of videos, and I decided to, and I had that going, and then I stopped and I thought, oh, I want to check and see if my updates, see, I turned off the DNF update notification portion of the DNF Dragora app. I turned it off, took it out of startup, and because it was just staying up all the time, even when, and if I would check the system, it had already been updated, and it wasn't, you know, when you boot up, a little while after you boot up, it would come up and say you have some updates. But then when they get updated by automatic updates, it doesn't notice that, and it doesn't shut down. And it was just bugging me being there all the time. It keeps making me think I need to look at it. So I thought, well, I'm going to turn it off because I think the updates will still work. And I hadn't remembered to check. Finally today I checked, and I'll get here. I'm going to play a video so that I can use it. To try to help figure things out, hopefully. But so let me just go. Well, let's just stay there. I'll end up forgetting. I've been going around and around for probably 2 hours, trying to get everything. I was trying to get a better angle on the camera, on the camera 2 here, get closer so I wouldn't have to zoom in as much. And so I'm off to the right. Well, you can see it now. I've got it right here. Normally I have it like kind of straight behind my head and up high, and sometimes I bump into it, but right here, man, I have to really be careful when I get out of my chair, or I'll bump it and completely ruin the setup. And with it zoomed in close like that, you don't have to move much to ruin everything. But I didn't have to zoom in as much, so at least you can. It's still blurry. I mean, I can tell that. So, but I tried to find a better. Tried different cameras. You know, I used to put it on my desk, to the right of my desk sometimes. I tried right here. I can do that, but it's really skewed when you do that. I'm closer, and I don't have to zoom. Really, I can not zoom at all, and so that does give the best. But the only way it actually works to where you can read the screen like that. I mean, it needs to be right here in front of my face, and I can't do that. But I can put it there, but it's really skewed, but you can actually read the bigger text if you're not zoomed in. It's the zoom in that starts degrading the quality so much, and it really shows up since I'm streaming over Wi-Fi and I have to do 720p instead of 1080p, which 720 is lower, if you didn't, you know, if that's not clear, but lower resolution by a lot. So that's the other thing I've been doing, and so but when it locked up, I've been meaning to do this. So what I did is I got one of the phones, and I used OBS, Open Camera, in the 1080p, you know, and then I set it on. I set the tripod up set it up. I had to move my chair, you know. If I'm going to explain it and mumble around, I guess I put the tripod about right here, and then so I had to move my chair way over, and I could still just barely reach the keyboard with it slid over here. Actually, I could have just, I still had it skewed a little bit though, and I didn't have it as straight. I was just all I had to frame it up was just a little preview on the phone, and it's a 4-inch screen now. I just can't see it to do it. I can't tell. I thought I had it way better than I do, and it's really crooked, but it isn't zoomed. I don't think at all. But the boot screen text is really small, so there's no way anybody could read it. But I could just barely read it, sitting here, you know, looking at the screen. Anyway, I read off the things that the boot errors and stuff, so that maybe I can follow them and try to, because I could never write them down fast enough. I've tried several times, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to play back my own video and follow them. I don't really think I have any. Yeah, I've got desktop audio turned up all the way right here, so I can't turn it up any louder. I already did a test and it works, but it's kind of low. It's much lower than the mic. And I tried to kind of talk in between me talking, but that didn't work. I just ended up talking over myself. So I guess I'll just keep pausing the video or something. So let's see how this works. I want to see if I can walk through some of these errors and see if I can do what it tells you to do. Where are those notes? I got notes that I've written down. They're probably going to help. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start this video now. And I've already got it queued up to about where I start booting up. And yeah, you see I'm a lot closer, but I really am crooked and even way off to one side. Well, I did that on purpose to try to not be skewed as much. Well, I felt it coming on before I got started. By the time I got about ready to get started, so I did take a pill, but I think right as usual. But if I didn't, I would have been. I was just getting worse and worse. Dry cough drop. But what I did, taking that pill, made it worse for a while before it makes it better. Dang it! And I can't wait until I'm better, because I'm never better for more than a few hours a day. Okay. I'm going to start and just try to see if this will work. Get them. I tried to write them down several times. I never get them. Okay. We're running 4.17.6, whatever, kernel. Fedora 28. Okay. No, it's going to be really small text, so I don't even know if it'll be readable. Failed to, okay, hit the key. Failed to start kernel modules. See systemctl status system d-modules-load dot service for details. And okay. Now I think I got that wrote down at some point. Let me just look at my notes here. And oh, the first note is about what I checked. I ran DNF. I don't think I went through that. Explained what I was. I just went ahead and ran DNF update, and it said nothing to do. And then I was copying and pasting that into a text file like I usually do. That's when it locked up. Just as I did it in LibreOffice, and that's when it locked up. I didn't show the lockup port and all that. I skipped that. But it did update right. And so everything's good with my automatic updates. I would like it if it would tell me, you know, system is updating. Fedora used to always do that, tell you the system, there are updates for the system is updating, you know, just little things coming up at the top there to tell you. And that was very helpful. But that note there, I guess I'll just put it on the back. If I put it on the back, I try to keep them in order of how old they are and how important they are, kind of. Okay, failed to load modules, which I believe that's kernel modules. System CTL. Okay, system. Wait. Systemd. Yeah, systemd dot modules dot load services, I think. Okay, it says it's failed to load those. So now I think I can go into boot logs and perhaps find that. Oh yeah, I just left that open to make sure things were working. Okay. Look at check my stream. Actually, I guess I should pause it now before that laptop wears itself out. Trying to play that forever. Now I have two apps that help on here that you can view the log files. It's really nice to be able to just see log viewer and logs. I don't remember which one is which. One of them I liked better than the other. I think it was the second one. Let's just go to it. I think that's the one I want. The other one, I think this is the one I didn't want. Let's see. Well, I will just wait and see. Unable to read system logs. Oh. Well, this is the one that I think you might need to run it as root to be able to. It's the only thing I can figure. But this one here, I think is the one that you can view everything. Oh, it asks you to log in as root. So if that other one was just do that, then it would work. Okay, so we got just pretty much every kind of log that the system has right here. This is really a better one anyway. This is Wednesday the 18th. I did not realize that. It was already Wednesday. There we go. See what those. Command line boot image. Okay. Yeah, here's one of them right there. It's trying to load Dev Mapper, Fedora, Lenovo i5 swap, and root, and it keeps going back and forth saying it can't load them. So it's all on one line. It's a really long line too. Oh, there we go. That's what I've been seeing. That's one of the things I've been seeing. And what it looks like is it finally gives up. But that's not the one I was actually looking for. That's this one that's next in the video that I start talking about. Let's see. You can search modules. Let's see. System D. Okay, the command is there's a command. Hostname, address, terminal, res failed. And then it says, oh, then it's success. Okay. Does it tell the time of these? I think this may be like the whole day. The whole day. Well, that's the same time, right? Isn't it? July 18th at 1:43:38. That's the same time. Okay. Well, I don't have a, well, I have a host name. I think it's just called Lenovo Wi-Fi, but I don't have a domain name or anything on it. I don't want one on here, on this machine. Okay. Let's find modules again. Failed to find module VBox drive. Okay. That's bet you that is the one that keeps holding things up, and it's really slowing down the boot too, even if it's harmless. Oh wait. Kernel message. I think maybe the that's host name again. Yeah, failed all of those. VBox. It it has. Hadn't thought about that. When you see, loading modules or failed to load modules or whatever. When the boot. Whenever I installed VirtualBox, this VirtualBox, the virtual machine to run virtual machines in, I haven't even used it yet. I noticed that it was installed. A couple of dependencies were KMods and ACMods, and I used to use some different KMods and ACMods to go along with my video drivers when I used to use proprietary video drivers for my NVIDIA video cards and stuff. And what they would do is tell the kernel to wait, the system to wait and not update its kernel until there was updates available for that video driver, because if it didn't, then it would break your video and you'd have a black screen. And it happened to me several times. That's how I learned all that. But for years I just the drivers are they used to make a real big point about not calling Linux. Says Linux doesn't use drivers, and they called it, I can't remember, they call, a lot of people nowadays, you'll notice if they don't say driver, they'll say firmware. But I don't remember, seems to me they used a different word that sounded fancier or something than firmware. But anyway, you usually always think of I always think of firmware as the actual. I don't know why it did that. It went to, I moved my mouse a little bit. Anyway, I didn't roll my mouse wheel or anything, but did that when I first tried to get on there. Anyway, just to most people it's just, tomato, but there is a real difference, because the actual Windows drivers, Linux really doesn't use those. But a lot of people that do Linux have just gotten to calling them drivers, I guess, because it's easier to communicate to everybody. It's, because most people switched to Linux from Windows at some point, But yeah, it's failed that over and over and over. And I believe I'm still in today, or is it going between? No, it's still today. Well, I've rebooted it 2-3 times today so far, so locked up once. Maybe I did only reboot it once, but anyway. Yeah, that VirtualBox mod, the KMods and the ACMods, I figured that's what wasn't loading, and so it's not. So I might be able to just uninstall VirtualBox, but I actually want it because I really like it, and I want to be able to run my. I could try that Box app, or see, what do we got here? I've got. Well, I think you got to go. Yeah. So Boxes is one that Fedora is really promoting lately. And I opened it up right after I installed it. I got it with those groups installs I did. It's real simple. It doesn't have very many features, and the one that I tried didn't work. And I've been using VirtualBox for years, so I got it pretty well figured out. virtual machine manager I've been using for years on and off. Basically it'll do a few different types of virtual systems. I think it'll do KVM and there's I have a KVM switch I'm always talking about, but there's also a KVM virtual machine system or software, and then there's QEMU, which they use a lot. A lot of people use a lot of, for instance, Team Viewer. No, never mind. It doesn't use. Well, I think it used QEMU to run Wine, the virtual, Windows emulator that'll run in Linux. But anyway, QEMU. I've tried different. Sometimes, say if something wouldn't run right in VirtualBox, I'd go try it in QEMU and maybe I'd get it running, but most of the time not. It's harder to set up to me. So I want VirtualBox unless it's just really not going to work right in here, but it always has. Let's see, modules. I think maybe this is where one of the places where it that's in systemd host name again. Okay, so VBox Net App, VBox XPCI. Oh, it looks like it's trying to run a bunch of virtual VBox Net, ADP, VBox PCI. It's trying to run a bunch of virtual stuff. It's like it's trying to start up and run and in the background when you're not even running the app. I really don't want it doing that, using up resources. There it is, started, load kernel modules. Whoops. Okay. MODUL, why didn't it go to there? It jumped way on down, but anyway. Apply kernel variables. Read-only root support. Start, load, save, random seed. Oh. Okay, so I don't think that's the same thing really that I was looking for. No errors with loadable kernel modules configured. So what are we saying here? It's fixed. Well, it was the last time when I made that video. I may have rebooted again since then, but there's probably other kernel modules too, besides those on the system. Now where are we at? I'm just searching modules, Unconfigured. Name com.redhat.im settings requested. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, see, kernel network modules, LVM. I think I haven't paid a lot of attention to all this stuff over the years. Only if it ain't broke, I don't try to fix it because it's too much else to do. But now it is broke, so I'm trying to fix it. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of modules, kernel modules that load normally. Well, there you go. There's another. There's one. Extra kernel modules extra, kernel modules again. This is for doing updates or something. That looks like it is an update. I think that's automatic updates. DNF automatic. This is automatic updates running. That's what that is. And that's a list of the updates. Because I saw it said repository and size, and now the following updates have been applied on my host. Oh, yeah. So there we go. So we got a bunch of modules that's been updated today at some point. Oh, KMod, there we go. KMod VirtualBox. That one has been updated. I mean, it could have gotten fixed, but what do we got down here? It'd be really nice if it just got fixed by updates. Most of the time, you can wait on things, and if it was especially like if it was working and then it gets messed up, but it's not really badly broke, you can wait and it'll get fixed in the next update. Or if you install a program and it's kind of like VirtualBox and it's not working right, and then after a while it'll probably get fixed. But if it's a big problem, if your system starts logging up or something, then you got to figure out what to do, you know. I mean, it's been locking up. I thought it was, let's see, well, it locked up yesterday 3 times when I was trying to do network file SFTP file transfers. And it did it in FileZilla, and then it did it again in, I mounted a network drive. I went to Places, connect to server, and mounted a server as a drive, you know. Mounted my server, a network connection to the drive, and started copying files, and it locked the machine up, just like it did previously, and thought it had done it again. Mouse was off somewhere. What I'm wondering here is, it's saying started kernel modules over and over and over. I'm wondering if it got fixed in between the last time I had trouble with it. LM Sensors Mod Probe, no sensors with loadable kernel modules configured. LM Sensors Mod Probe Wrapper. Please run sensors detect as root in order to search for available sensors. Some of this stuff may be things I got with my group installed that I probably don't even need. That's why I was thinking maybe I may just want to reformat and start over if it's going to be really hard to figure out and fix, because it wasn't acting up at all until after. It didn't really start acting up after I did my group installs. It was after installing a few things manually, one of them being VirtualBox and the other couple of things, I can't remember what they were now. No sensors. I don't know if I'm starting over at the top or what. I keep trying to pay attention, but I can't keep forgetting to look when I click to the next one. System D. Still talking about host name. That may actually not be the host name of the real system. It may be the VirtualBox, because I see stuff that sounds like that. It found it, but I didn't find where it landed. Oh, okay. Failed to find module VBox drive, DRV drive. Okay, DRV should stand for drive, and then VBox net. Yeah. Failed to find module VBox net ADP. So that's recurring over and over. That's got to be then. It needs to be set up or something. Looks to me like. It says wrapped. So does that mean it already started over? I think it does. Yeah, it's back up at the top again. So that's good. It tells you when it gets around the block. Okay. There's the boot log right there, the very top one. That was the one I was actually looking for to start with, and I didn't see it. Now, here we go. There's the arrow. Failed to start. Load kernel modules. See system CTL status systemd modules load service for details. Start applying variables. Start setup virtual console. Start. Okay, let's go. Try to go there. Let's see. Oh, I guess you've got to run that command to see that. I stopped my preview a while ago. I'm going to start it back up. Yeah, see, so far I'm running good. I was worried that it would crash on me. So, not sure where I want. If I want my... guess I'll have to do it as root. I'm not sure. Probably. I think I'll open this up in a whole nother window so I can just make the terminal full screen so that I can see it. And pretty sure that I was trying to check my preview and I was not talking. I was just typing. Yeah, I thought I could hear myself typing, but I wasn't sure. Okay, I think this is a command that you'll run with those little single quote marks around it. We'll see. Yeah. Oh no, command not found. Okay. Oh. Okay. Get rid of those quotes and maybe that'll do it. Yeah, I think that will do it. It's always hard to tell what they mean by that. Okay, system modules, load kernel modules, loaded, user lib system, system modules, load service, static vendor, preset disabled, active exited since Wednesday 07/18, 3 hours 3 minutes ago. Docs, man systemd modules, load service, man modules, load D. Process. Success. It looks like it's all running. Everything, I mean, the only thing listed in here says it's good. Started load kernel modules. Okay. And this is status of system modules load service. Okay. Yeah. So, I wish I had that terminal. I think it's, this is make terminal. I think maybe genome terminal is one of the ones you can save the terminal output as a file. I know you can do it with console, and this is really short, so I'll have to do. Whoops! I'll have to redo the whole thing. Let's just. I'm leery. Okay, I'm going to do just what the last time I did this. What I'm doing right now, it locked the system up. But I guess we might as well know. If there was, I think it's been running wounded, and I don't know. Maybe the last set of updates fixed it already, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. We'll see. Except for VirtualBox stuff is not loading, obviously. But still have a mouse and everything. Okay, now we'll save it. That isn't what I wanted. Hit cancel. I didn't bother trying to select that because I thought it was going to be already, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought that was in my, I thought that command I ran was in my, still in my, I just messed things up. I thought this command here was in my clipboard. But all that's what's in there. Okay, text. Keep it as text. Okay, I think I'll leave that terminal window open because it's finished its run, and I can run more commands now if I want to. Okay, so everything looks like it's okay now. So let's go back. Now this is the last boot, though, I believe. Or does it tell you the time or anything? It should be the last boot. Yeah, I think so. Okay, it's up there where I was at. Yeah, failed to load kernel modules, starting to apply kernel variables. Virtual console. I don't know if that's normal stuff or to do with VirtualBox, to be honest. Started to configure read-only root support. Random seed, start, load, save, random seed. Now let's go to the next entry of modules. Systemctl status, service for details. Failed to load kernel modules. There's not a time there. If there is, I can't read it. It looks like that might be a time. 0:32 minutes, like so 32 seconds, I guess. But it all says that though. So that wouldn't be a time for each. Started monitoring LVM mirrors. Reach targeted local encrypted volumes. Do I have encrypted drives? I didn't know. I didn't think they were. Let's see if modules is in there. Just twice. Okay, so let's go on to the. Well, let's go see what that next error is in the video now. Because they may be tied together, these things. And I'm really getting even more wondering about what's actually. Okay, the very next thing with the little red down there, I'm going to be talking about that right away. In the meantime, it's on this other one. Start job running for Dev Mapper Fedora Lenovo i5 X24, or no, not 24, 2D root swap, and it keeps swapping back and forth, dot device. The word keeps swapping. Notice that one word, swapping root, swapping root, swapping. I think I got some of that written down previously. Get my paper clip that I put on there really helps, but I ran out of small paper clips, and the big paper clips won't let you flip the pages to where you can't see anything. Okay, boot error, run to fix. Oh yeah, sbin. Okay, it said the only thing I got out of one of them was oh yeah, ATC so and so, and then run to fix sbin mpath config. Actually, I think there's supposed to be a / in front of it. Let me play that. And it's counting down. It's been 43 seconds, 1 minute limit. Okay, swap root device, and it's just trying to mount them. Yeah, it's a dev mapper, so it's trying to mount. I mean, that looks like that's, you know, two major portions of my system, my root partition and my swap partition, that aren't mounting properly. I don't see how it could run if they wouldn't mount it. So it'll keep on counting until, well, now it's gone 1 minute and 14 seconds. Oh, it says no limit now. some point it gives up though, and it just constantly. I guess it tries to mount one and it fails, and then tries the other one, tries to mount one and that jump. The dependency failed. Resume from hibernation using device. Oh, hibernation. See, I don't use hibernation. Okay, now up in here, it gives you some readout. It says etc. Well, it's starting Dracoop, pre-pivot, and. Okay, this is what I was reading off just now. That other one, I didn't get anything written down about it. This is the one I wrote down. Okay, let's see what that says. Clean up hook, etc multipath config. The config C1F does not exist. Blacklisting all devices. You can run /sbin /MPA th C1F to create or modify etc multipath config.config. All right, I'm going to try that because the other one. I don't know if I got anything out of that. I don't know if I know what to do other than try to look for some error. Okay, and it says to run /sbin /empath, and I don't think it's .config. No, it should be. I think it's .c1f. Okay. Let's try without the dot. Okay, that did work. Multipath is enabled. Find multipath is enabled. User-friendly name is enabled. DMM multipath module is loaded. Multipath is not running. Okay. So lost my place in there. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to copy all of it. I always mess up when I try to do that, so I'm just going to copy it all and replace what I had in there a while ago. Go ahead and open LibreOffice again. Okay, so that, I guess, it's either was already running or I just fixed it by running that. Now, I'm going to select all and paste that in there and just save it. Okay. I might rename it. I can't put forwards. I don't know. Anyway, multipath. Okay. I'm going to put, I know it's not really the way it was, but I'm going to put a space in there. I'll put a comment to kind of let myself know that I did that. Put a comment right there. Comment out that line. That blank line is commented out. Oh. Then I ran. How about make a real comment? There we go. That's what that's for. Okay. Okay, so since I'm worried about it locking up on me, I'm going to close things, files and things as I go. Okay, so now let me go a little further in that video. Then I think I want to go back to the part that I really didn't catch on to. I don't have any more notes of any of those things to run. I've got lots of other notes, but okay, the things I installed. There we go. I installed VirtualBox. Well, I installed Media Writer, which it will not run. It keeps crashing and everything, so that could be a problem. I installed VirtualBox. I installed LSHW, which is a hardware lister. It's what its name is, even though it's install it, you got to use LSHW. That's its name of the application. And Phoronix Test Suite. I installed those. That's what I've installed. Well, I mean some other things, but I started having trouble after that. I did all that probably on the same day or within 2 days. And Phoronix, I think, runs, well, actually I haven't tried to run it because I was always making videos and I didn't want to overwhelm the system. It's a benchmarking suite. VirtualBox I haven't tried to run yet, and I might open it up and it might tell me some things like to get this work and do this and that and the other, so I might want to do that. Media writer, yeah, I've tried to get that. Just I didn't know anything to do. I just tried it and turned it on and off, and it just basically confirmed that it kept crashing. I did that in videos. Let's see. See if there's any errors listed in there. The word error is not in there. Okay. It failed. Dependency for resume from hibernation. Okay, now that's the other thing. One of the other things. Using device mapper Fedora. Lenovo i5 swap. Oh. Yeah, I was wondering when I kept seeing it trying to load swap and root, and it looked like it wasn't happening. It's like, well, I don't even see how the system could run. So and then somewhere else in there it says blacklisted all devices. That was the other thing I thought might have been. But if you didn't have your swap partition working, I can look in part of Magic see if it's in trouble or anything. GParted, I mean. Well, the system can run without swap, but it couldn't run without your root partition. Okay, that's the only fail. Error. Yeah. Blacklisting, there it is right there. ETC, starting Dracoot, pre-pivot, and cleanup hook. And then Dracoot pre-pivot, so-and-so, etc multipath.conf does not exist. Okay, blacklisting all devices. That right there is making me think, is there something wrong? You can run sbin mpath.config to create or modify etc multipath.config. Isn't that what I just ran? I think it is what I just ran. sbin, I think I ran something different. Let's paste that. No, that is exactly what I just ran. sbin mpath.config. So I guess I just ran it and maybe I fixed that portion right there. Because it all just says it did it. Okay, there we go. Now, so that's what had to do with the blacklisting thing. Okay, so maybe that won't be doing that anymore, and that might be what's crashing things. I mean, if devices, if any kind of devices are, but the thing is, I don't know what devices are blacklisted. Usually when they're blacklisted, they can't run, can't mount, can't operate, or whatever. I can plug in any USB or whatever I want, you know, the drives all mount, nothing seems broken. So let's go back in the video a little bit. Well, I'll go forward first and then go back. Let's see. Let's see where I'm at. I hope I read that out well enough to understand it, because I'm probably going to have to depend on what I'm saying. And then it'll start. Right now it's reach target switch root, starting switch root. That's what it's doing right now. But yeah, those other ones don't even show up as, they don't actually show up, you know, error or caution even on this. It's all green, you know, okay. But it has that instruction in there. Now it's fixing to go to the GUI. Okay, so it booted, and then, you know, I just logged in and stuff and talked about it all some more. Okay, I'm going to go back and try to find the one before that. It just constantly, it says no limit now, but mounting. Yeah, it's a dev, swapping root, swapping. And in the mean, be readable. Failed, oh, okay, hit the key, failed. I was going to have to cough. Okay, so this is where I want to get to again, and listen to this one more time. To start kernel modules, see systemctl status system d-modules-load dot service for details. And in the meantime, it's on this other one. Start job running for dev mapper Fedora Lenovo i5 X24, or no, not 24, 2D root swap, and it keeps swapping back and forth, dot device. The word keeps swapping. That's that one word, swap and root, swap and root, swap and root. and it's counting down. It's been 43 seconds, 1 minute limit. Okay, swap root device, and it's just trying to mount them. Yeah, it's a dev mapper, so it's trying to mount. I mean, that looks like that's, you know, two major portions of my system, my root partition and my swap partition, that aren't mounting properly. I don't see how it could run if they wasn't mounting. So it'll keep on counting until, well, now it's gone 1 minute and 14 seconds. Oh, it says no limit now. At some point it gives up though. And it just constantly, I guess it tries to mount one and it fails, and then tries the other one, tries to mount one and now it jumped. The dependency failed. Resume from hibernation using device. Oh, hibernation. See, okay, so I may have just fixed that hibernation thing of above. I don't even use, I have hibernation turned off, I thought, but maybe I don't. I know I have you know, like screensaver turned off and all that, but I never liked using hibernation. I don't use it. Laptop, well, it's kind of, actually it's my laptop that I'm using to preview my stream with. But I never liked using hibernation. I do like it. I say I never like using it. I do like using it on the laptop, except for it does get an error when it works just by default in Domain 8. Shut the lid and the machine. I was using it yesterday. I thought it might be a better way to let the machine rest in between, you know, when I needed to see my preview, but it didn't wake up very well. And there's always an error every time you do that. Every time you open the lid again, it gives some sort of error, like kind of like what I'm seeing here. But this is Fedora, so I don't know if that thing is. Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't pause it yet. Okay. Well, I was fixing to close. Yeah, let's close the video because I went through that enough. Okay. Dev. Let's see. Mapper. Okay, found device dev mapper Fedora Lenovo 5 swap. There we go. Activating swap dev mapper swap. Oh, well, there's no error there. Reached target swap. Maybe it wasn't working until this boot. That's not what I saw on the screen, and I saw, you know, red errors and yellow cautions, and found it. Unless it got fixed, it fixed itself somehow. I mean, there could have been some kind of, well, Domain and Fedora, and I guess probably on most all Linux operating systems or distros, if there is any errors on the drive, then it will automatically run file system check app, FSCK or something. I always get mixed up between the one for Windows and Linux, but it'll run it and it will fix it. In Linux, it'll fix it. You know, in Windows, you usually, unless you've got it set up to do it automatic, you're going to have to manually do it. But in Linux, it will just do it. It will do it every so often, every so many boots, period. But I think it also used to, that was just how it did it. But I think now it has like a way to sense if there's something wrong on a boot. I've seen it happen. I haven't even read up on how it works, but I've seen it enough times recently. It's booting up and it'll stop, and usually it'll pull, like even if the graphic little balloon is blowing up on Fedora, it'll pull it out of there and go to the terminal, and it'll show you what's happening, and it's saying, okay, there's a problem with lost. I'll keep losing my words. Things are lost, and so it runs a file system check, and then it fixes it, and you don't have to do a thing; just let it do it, which is a beautiful thing, because there's so many times, like for my great USB backup drive, it's NTFS file system, which is, you know, for Windows, and it's broken 3 or 4 times, and I had to fix it running the file system check, you know, and fix, and I had to go look up the right commands. Well, it told me somewhere, let's see where, oh, it'll tell you whenever it fails like that. Let's see, does it do it in Linux too? I think it might give you an error to tell you what to do, but you got to do it on a Windows system. And right now I don't even have my virtual machine up and going right now, so I couldn't do it. A couple of weeks ago I thought it had done that, and what it is actually the little cable, the little tiny short proprietary USB plug that plugs into the actual drive. It's not like normal USB cables. It's really short and it falls out really easy. Well, it had just come out a little bit, but enough to lose connection, but not enough for you to see it, you know. And so, and I forgot to, check it. I just looked at it. I didn't go over there and manually touch it and push on it. And the next day I was going to try to fix it. I thought, okay, now I've got to figure out how I'm going to, plug this, get a Windows system going so I can plug it in and do that. I was going to see if I could do it in my virtual XP in my Linux system. I think I might have did that once before. No need. It was just a cable. So, but it has broken several times, and I had to fix it, and it tell you that. Especially when you plug it into a Windows machine, it does tell you what to do and everything. It tells you the commands even. But so anyway, okay. So the mapper, it's showing good now. Let's see. There you go. Started file system check. This is what I was talking about. Probably what made me think of it. File system check. Okay. And listening on device to mapper. Found device, dev mapper, Fedora Lenovo 5 swap. Unless it, this particular boot, this last boot, it just happened to be that was the timer I was talking about. But because it looked to me like swap. Well, like I said, okay, if swap couldn't mount, your system will still run, but you're going to have some performance problems, and maybe I'm thinking maybe a crash, because like if you're really working it hard in some way, or well, actually, last time it crashed, I wasn't really I was running quite a few apps, but I had Thunderbird, Firefox, LibreOffice, maybe Crusader, and my System Monitor app going, which might have been enough to fill up, need to swap, and if it wasn't there, then. But it's there now. This last boot. Okay. And that's back up to the top, looks like. Well, it hasn't said that yet, but I guess I'm still at the top. It says that a lot. I don't know, maybe I'm rolling around the whole. I'm not, it's hard for me to look, remember to look over there. I think it's just in there a lot. It's the same message over and over, which is weird. Maybe this is a longer period of time than I think it is. Okay, so now let's get in the. I'll leave that terminal up until I think now let's close it, because I'm making videos and I need to make sure my machine can handle it all. Okay, so what do I want to open up? I want to open up GParted. Well, I can open this up again if I need it. Okay. Now, I already went ahead and stopped my preview over there. Can't believe I'm already getting hungry. What time is it? 3:18. Well, I got up at 4:30 this morning. I finally got up in the daytime. So I've already had break. I always get hungry for lunch really quick, so it's probably been a long time, like 5 hours or something. Let's see. I 4:35, 6. I think I was eating breakfast about 6, maybe before then. No, I was done with breakfast by 6, and then 7, 8, say 7, 8, 9, 10. Even if I waited my normal 4 hours, but I have a lot of times I'm starving by 3 hours, and I just go ahead and eat lunch. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10, yeah, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. See, that's 5 hours. No wonder I'm really, really hungry. I was starting to feel a little hungry when I started this video, and I thought, well, I've been trying to get started on the video forever, so I didn't want to go eat. Well, I didn't want to go eat it'd be my supper, and if I didn't want to go eat my supper and start ending up my day, so I thought, well, I'm going to wait. But now I'm going to end up having to go eat. But I guess what I'll do is one or two more things here, and then I will go get something to eat. And maybe I'll be able to go a little longer. If I go too long, I'll wear myself out and sleep 12 or more hours. But if I don't go very long enough, I won't get anything done. All right, so let's see. GParted, that's what I want. I kept trying to remember to do that the last few days. Oops. Just open up GParted and see what those partitions look like in here. If there's errors on them, it'll tell you. And I kept forgetting. I was so wound up in all, too many machines giving me headaches, and so kept forgetting. Okay, ext4, LVM2. Well, why am I not seeing the DevSDB? Okay, yeah, this is my backup drive. See, it's just it's got in here. It's Microsoft reserved unknown. So it doesn't know what the partition type is. I wonder what it is. Must be something that GParted can't work with. Well, it says MS FTRES right there. I'm not sure what that actually means. Right here is where the partition type would be, though. And then this is NTFS, my backup drive, and used 101.94 terabytes of 4.55 terabytes. But my main system used. Now this is different, and I guess I think what they've done, the LVM2, so it used to just be LVM, but now they're LVM2 PV. I think all the see the XT4 1 gigabyte, that's the boot partition, it's mount point boot, and then Fedora Lenovo i5. Everything else is inside of this logical volume. LVM stands for logical volume management. So everything else is logical volume instead of a standard. I can't think of the right name now. Let me look and see if I can information. XT4. And it doesn't say the type of volume it is or whatever. I want to be really careful here. I don't want to accidentally. You could say add a partition, but I don't want to slip on my mouse. And then you could pick primary. What is it? Primary and anyway, I'm not going to do it on these my system. I'm not even going to do that, even just to show it. So anyway, it's all contained. There's like, yeah, I saw it before. The swap and everything's contained in that LVM2. Let's see. I might be able to look in the disk, but there wasn't any red or yellow flags on there. Disk management. I think that's the one. Oh, that's not the one. You have to be root to run that one. I think it's that one. I think that's genome disks or something like that. It might show up a little more information. Okay, so here's the boot partition, dev SDA1, Linux bootable, and then here's the LVM. Yeah, it doesn't tell you really anything about what's inside of it. Oh, but I think these, yeah, this way you'll see it now. We'll see it. So partition 2 is the dev SDA2 LVM PV. The CD drive, and then a 5 terabyte hard disk. That's my backup drive. Now the 54 gigabyte block device, that is Dev Fedora Lenovo i5 root. That's the root partition. It's 54 gigabyte. That's inside of that logical volume. 4.1 gigabyte block device, that's the swap, still inside of that logical volume, the LVM2. 191 gigabytes is the Dev Fedora Lenovo i5 home. So that's my home partition. So that's all different than it used to be. I don't really ever remember if it's that way in the old, like Fedora 23 or whatever. I hadn't paid enough attention to realize it. But used to, they were separate. You'd have a boot partition like that, Well, you'd have a root partition that would be an ext4, which would be a standard partition. I can't remember. Primary partition. I can't remember the right words. You'd have a swap, which would be a separate partition. It's a swap partition. It's a special type that's only for, it's just a for writing temporary files too, really fast, you know. And they'll always end up being, you can't read it or anything. You can't go look and see what's in it. Well, I mean, there's probably a way to do it, but I've never needed to. I've checked around in some of these partition managing apps. You can't just go right click and say read the, see the files on this. You'd have to do something special. And then your home partition was the only one that was in the LVM. Used to be that was a logical volume, but now they've got them all in there. And with this LVM2, I've noticed that that's when this started. Is when they started with. I remember reading a little bit about LVM2 coming out a 3 or 4 years ago, but I guess they kept working. It wasn't quite ready. They didn't think for a while. But anyway, so there we go. Yeah, none of these have any like errors on them, anything. And I could have looked and I forgot, so now I won't know if there was before. And get out of those. It makes me nervous being in those on my main system. But so I don't know. I guess. I mean, it hasn't crashed. That's really good. And I'll look at this later. I'm gonna have to write notes on my notes to say that I did this and I did that. I think I'll be able to. Hopefully, I'll be able to remember. System CTL status, I ran that, and that MPath config, I ran that. I should at least put a check mark. Okay, ran and did the config. Put a check mark by looking at the boot logs. Okay. Ran was okay. The system CTL. Okay, now, yeah, I wasn't thinking about what I was showing. Okay, so, I don't know now. I don't know if I'm fixed or if it's just going to crash again. Oh, VirtualBox. Well, I'm going to open up VirtualBox. I'll do that right now before I go. There's lots and lots of notes in there. I'll probably find even more cans of worms to open up. But I want to open up VirtualBox. I haven't even opened it up yet. And did I switch to desktop yet? I did not. Okay. I switched to the desktop section that I wanted to be on, but I didn't switch to desktop. You wouldn't have been seeing a thing I was doing. Okay. I'm waiting on my preview to show that it's working because I'm wanting to make sure that everything's working. Okay. Now, I even got the icon up there, but I hadn't run it yet. Or maybe, I think I started it once, but I didn't do anything. Okay, so here's what you get the first time you run VirtualBox. New version, it's available. Okay, well, Fedora usually does, well, actually not. Fedora doesn't stay as far behind on the new releases of apps as Debian. Debian aims at strictly being stable. Fedora, they have their, well, it just takes a while. They have their criteria before this can be, put in the repos. So this new version, so it'll be in there. So usually, I don't usually go. I hardly ever go manually unless something's broken. It won't work. I don't go manually download new stuff even when you see that, because usually it won't work. It won't work with the file system. I mean, with the operating system well yet. Okay, let's see. The left part of the window is all the virtual machines and the virtual machine groups on your computer. The list is empty now because you haven't created any virtual machines yet. In order to create a new virtual machine, press the New button in the main toolbar located at the top of the window. You can press F1 to get instant help or visit virtualbox.org for more the latest news. Okay, let's make you full screen. It's got a funny little icon now. So we don't have anything in here yet. Global tools, what's that? Virtual machine, virtual media manager, host network adapter. Okay. So, and then up here we're going to have preferences, import appliance. This is what I'm going to be doing actually. Export virtual media manager, host network manager, operations, check for updates, machine, add a new or add, help, contents, website, bug tracker, forums, Oracle website. That's who makes VirtualBox, Oracle. The Oracle, yes, it's the Oracle who makes VirtualBox. You didn't know that? And if you believe, you can dodge bullets. I haven't ever been able to believe that. Okay, so when you wanna make one now, there's a couple different ways to do it. Let's see. Please choose the descriptive name for your new virtual machine and select the type of operating system you intend to install on it. The name you choose will be used throughout the VirtualBox to identify this machine. Now, actually, I am going to do Windows, and I'm going to do XP. What is it, 32-bit or 64-bit? It's got to be 32-bit. It's my XP Pro virtual machine. What else is in there? Sure is a lot of Windows. It used to be the whole list of, oh, that's because it's under Windows. Well, let's go 32-bit, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Linux, Solaris, BSD, IBM, Mac, and other. So, Windows, XP, I'm pretty sure it is a 32-bit. I may be forgetting exactly which way I want to do this, but I think from right here I can import one, and it makes it easier using the wizard, is what I was thinking. Expert mode, okay, that way you get to set, there we go, create a virtual hard disk, do not add a virtual hard disk, use an existing hard disk file. This is what I want. Yeah, because I think, well, let's just kind of go along here. I'm not putting the name in yet because I'm thinking it will put it up there for me. Guided mode. Okay. Of course, you can't do, oh well. I usually just called it WinXP Vert, but I'm going to do this one this way. Okay, now let's see. That was the only reason it wouldn't let me go next. I'd rather be guided, be easier. Okay, so memory size. What do I usually put in there? I don't want 4 megabytes, of course. Gig's a bit much. 1024, just for XP. 512 should be fine, really. Let's just try 512. You can always raise it later, but it doesn't run good or something. Now, if you wish, you can add a virtual hard disk to the new machine. You can either create a new hard disk file or select one from the list or from another location using the folder icon. If you need more complex storage setup, you can skip this step and make changes to the machine settings once the machine is created. Okay, now I'm not going to add normally you would add normally you'd create a virtual hard disk now, and you set this up. Like, they recommend 10 gigabyte, which is pretty good recommendation for most stuff I've figured out. Unless you're just trying out Linux distros, and you don't really need more than 3 to 5 gigabytes if you're not going to really install them. and use an existing virtual disk file. Now that doesn't do anything, but if you click the little deal there, now that's on my backup drive. Not sure. Yeah. But this searcher is helpful, but it's also, see, it's still searching away. Play on Linux virtual drives? Oh yeah, I see. I'm going to wait and see. But screenshots, videos, see, it's finding everything and it's still searching away. Usually it gets to taking so long on this big old backup drive that I quit. I don't actually want it to do a search. I just want to be able to type on there and get to the folder real quick. That's why I did that. But it can't. It just does that. I don't know how to stop it. It just started doing that in the last couple of versions of Fedora. See, it's just going to keep on and on. I think if I keep thinking, well, it's almost done. Oh, I think it's done. Yeah, see, it'll go down. It'll have folders, and then I'm going to hit cancel. Now I'm going to do it again. This time, I'm just going to look. Well, I guess if I put it in alphabetical order, I'll click on videos, put it in alphabetical order. I was looking for VirtualBox VMs. I couldn't remember if it was like what folder it was in. I know it was VirtualBox VMs, something to that effect, but I didn't know where I had it on this drive. Okay, yeah, and then I've got Linux Test VM. These are backups, and then VDI cloned or resized. What is that? There's nothing in there. There's that's a VDI that you could import. That's their format. And then WinXP Pro VDI. Okay, now see, that's the only one in there. Okay, so that's the one I want. It's 9.6 gigabytes. And if I build it on a 10 gigabyte system, then I'm in trouble. So, let's see, can I go back? Where was that size information? Oh, well, since I'm using that, I'm going to there's a way to resize those, and I haven't ever done it yet, but I'm going to have to do that because I can't hardly use it anymore. It's full. I made it 10 gigabytes, and for a long time, for years, it was fine, but I'm just going to get it going, and then we'll figure all that out. Okay, it's not in there. Yeah, it's 9.6 gigabytes. I mean, that is so, yeah, see, it's looking for virtual hard disk files. There are VMDKs, VDIs, VHDs, parallels, QED, QCOW, VHXD, all files. So, of course, you wouldn't want to do all files, but if you know of another format, I believe these are listed in VirtualBox, so it should run any of those. I don't know how well, but its format that's why it picked VDI as its default format. So I installed this, from the CD in VirtualBox. First I made an empty VirtualBox, and then I installed it. And then over the years I've put more and more apps on it. And it's getting updates. It's set up as a Windows terminal. It's a Windows XP Pro, and it's set up as a Windows terminal, so it's still getting security updates until 2019. So I don't have much longer, but it is still getting updates. Okay. Normal 10 gigabytes. Okay. Would like to make that bigger right now, but I don't know if I can. Okay. Let's see what it did. Okay, now see I have one over there. Left part of the window, list of virtual machines. Okay. Right part, currently open, choose machine, list currently. Well, I'm not going to read that out over all this stuff. To observe the virtual machine VM details, groups, repositories, snapshots. Tool to control the VM snapshots reflects. Yeah, it automatically takes snapshots as you work, or you can tell it to do that if it's not already doing it. VM and allows snapshot operations like create, remove, restore, make current observed properties, allows edit, snapshots, and so on and so forth. Oh, yeah, that's kind of that. Well, those buttons are, I guess they're always there now. That's new because used to you have to go up here to like settings and stuff. So base memory 192 megabyte. That's what I've been running on there. Video memory 18 megabyte. I think it did that. Okay, yeah, here we go. Oh, choose a disk image. Yeah, you can't just resize from there, I don't think. I think there's a way to do it in VirtualBox. But, so now, I don't know how you would get back to that screen again anyway, but, oh, snapshots, there you go. Current state, okay. You could take a snapshot, but I won't, it'll do that anyway. Information. Now let's look in the tools. Oh, okay. That's the global whole system. Okay. But what I usually do is, there we go. What I usually do is click right there. Now you can change whatever you're allowed to change from what's in there. And yeah, I don't know, it didn't. Oh, I guess because I ended up in port. Yeah, because I was starting out like I was gonna. I'm gonna do 512. All that network. Yeah, we want networking. And you won't get your updates. You won't be able to do much if you don't have. If you don't have networking, you can't share files with the host machine. So you need network. Pointing device. PS2 mouse. USB tablet. Well, it's not a tablet. I guess I'll say PS2 mouse, even though it's a USB mouse. And you be careful about enabling these things. You want to make sure that you need them, or they can mess things up. So I don't know. The chipset, I'm going to leave it on the default. Processor, 1 CPU. Enable PA and X. In Windows XP, I don't think you need that. Some Linux distros, you got to have PAE in order for it to work. It usually tell you, give you an error, will tell you that you need to do that. Okay, that looks okay. Oh, processor, yeah. Acceleration, okay. Display, well, that wouldn't be enough. 32 probably be enough. 64 would be better, but this is 4 gig of RAM. I've run 64 a lot because video memory is sometimes where you're very often where your machine will hang up. Period. Whatever kind of machine it is. So you don't really need 3D. That's going to work your host machine a lot. As long as you don't overdo it, like with this quad core with Lenovo i5 quad core with 4 gig of RAM, I can run XP really well in it. But as long as I don't overdo it, with sharing too much resources with it. Don't need a server or video capture storage. Now this is where you could add, well, like if you had just an empty virtual machine, you could add a CD ISO image and just boot straight from ISO images. That's what I do all the time. Choose an optical disk file. But I'm not going to do that. That's what I want it to boot from. And you can actually use your physical CD drives, and I used to always have no trouble using my USBs, but I had trouble in Fedora 23. I don't know if I ever got it to work. Kept going through the settings. Audio input, audio output. How about that? I don't really need audio input, but I like to be able to hear what I'm playing in there and stuff if I play something. I only need one network adapter. You can have 4. Serial ports. There's no serial ports on this host, so I'm not going to do that. USB. Okay, enable USB controller. Now it says 1.1. You usually don't have to put anything in down here. I'm going to put, I know I have 2.0. Oh, invalid settings. You know what? That may be because it's the free version of VirtualBox. I think I read something about. Let's see. Well, I don't know why, but you're gonna have to stick with USB 1.1. As long as it works, that's fine. Shared folders. Now you can go and make shared folders. Well, you can share. Let's see. I think you. Let's see. Let's just do one and see. Folder path. Yeah, you can share folders on your machine with the virtual machine. I'm just going to say downloads for right now. Read only, auto mount. I'm not going to tell them to auto mount, because when they mount some things like USB sticks, when they mount into your, well, I have got those working. I've used that a lot in Windows XP Virtual Machine. You can just go up here at the top in the virtual machine and mount them when you want to use them, and then unmount them when you're done, because it takes it away from your Linux box. So you make sure you know where it's mounted and you know what's going on. So I'm not going to auto mount it. Okay, and then user interface. What do we got in here? Show full screen seamless. Show at top of screen. Mini toolbar. I want it somewhere in there. I'm going to tell it. I want to see that mini toolbar. Oh, in the top of the screen instead of the bottom. Now I think it'll be at the bottom, and that's fine. I'm used to that. Okay, what's this? Oh, I guess you have to do drop down. Oh, okay. It's different than the version I've been using. Oh, okay. Different things that you can do. I don't bother with all that much. Leave it on the defaults. That's actually, that right there, I don't remember that even being in this section, but that's pretty helpful. One thing that you always want to learn how to do is, like, if you want to boot, like I said before, now you can add more things. You can go down here and say, I want to add a SATA controller, a SCSI controller, an SAS controller, that's a server hard drive, floppy controller, USB controller, NVMe, that's network. I don't remember what that stands for, but that's a network drive, I think. So anyway, you'll be in there quite a bit, just in general. But with this XP virtual machine, I probably don't need anything else unless I need to add a USB controller. Maybe that right there is what I need to do so that I can actually read the physical USB drive plugged into the host machine. We'll see. I think I'll add one right now just to see. Shouldn't. Okay, there it is. Now use host IO cache. I don't know. I'll leave that alone. Okay. And I don't have a floppy on this. I don't need anything else because that's already got the CD drive. If I wanted to, well, I wouldn't want to. I guess you could, but well, when I boot ISOs, it's always Linux ISOs. So, all right, now it's all set up and ready to boot. Let's boot it up. And it always gives you those messages. I'm going to go ahead and make it. It should get up as big as the screen. If it's not, I'll have to change some settings. But the auto capture, I went ahead and made it this size, you know. The auto capture keyboard option is turned on. This will cause the virtual machine to automatically capture the keyboard every time the VM window is activated and make it unavailable to other applications used on your host machine. Yes, it's getting bigger now when your keyboard is captured. Since Windows was first activated in this computer, the hardware on the computer has changed significantly. Oh no, due to these changes, Windows must be activated within 3 days. You want to reactivate Windows now. It has not changed. This is the same machine that I've been running it on. I'm going to do a screenshot of that. Actually, I think I'll do... No, right now. You got 3 days. I just want to see it run right now. I think maybe it'll activate okay. I think this did this one other time. My screenshots is not. Sometimes when your screenshot won't work, when you hit print screen, go like that. Oh, I don't have a delay on it. Try new Yeah, now I can get a delay. I want to always have the delay. Why does it do that? It's a little harder to get a screenshot in when you got the virtual machine window up. Okay. No. Okay. Now, what was the other error I was trying? I mean, not error, but message. The virtual machine reports that the guest OS supports mouse pointer integration. This means that you do not need to capture the mouse. Yeah, you have to hit certain keys on the keyboard to capture the mouse and uncapture it. And that can be a pain. You forget what the keys are. So this is automatic, and it depends on your the guest operating system, and it'll work in XP. You do not need to capture the mouse pointer to be able. Yeah, to be able to use it in the OS. All mouse actions you perform will be over the virtual machine. Now all you got to do is just click out of there to, you know. And so those, I always like to have those coming up. This copy of Windows is not activated. Yes or no? But it is activated. It was activated. I don't know why. Oh, well, this is Fedora 28 instead of Fedora 23. But I guess maybe it's the same hardware, though, same host machine, though. Okay, the copy of Windows is not activated. Ask for genuine Microsoft. That would really piss me off if they wouldn't let me use it. Stupid old XP. After all these years, I've put it on other machines. I've had this exact same file. It's got 5 licenses for using in virtual machines too. This Windows XP Pro, I bought it years ago, and it actually has 5 licenses for. Oh wait, maybe that's for connecting to it. I'm not. I don't know. Can't remember it. It's been too long. 3 days. Yes, I know. Okay, so it looks like it's working fine. Could actually really use it. I've been needing to. Let's try to put my SD card in there. It's been having trouble again. My easy to boot. See if I can mount it in XP like I was talking about. So. Well, I added a USB controller. You can't get that little thing to go away. Let's see if it's gonna. Well, let's go over here and look on the there. See, it's mounted already. Okay, now let's see if I can see it. Yeah, devices, USB settings, network, optical drives. Okay, audio, network, USB. I might be wanting the auto mount function, because let's look in the USB settings. Okay. Well, before we start trying to fix it, let's make sure whether or not it's broke. I may have to add something there. Add new USB filter with all fields set to the values of the selected USB device. Come on. Attached to the host PC. Add new USB filter with all fields initially set to empty strings. Note that such a filter will match any USB device. Okay, before I do anything like that, let's go ahead and just go in the file manager and see if it can see it. I don't think it'll see it until you do some setup there. That's actually taking you right back to the screens I was just in, but that's fine. If I can get in them with it running, I'll do it. Usually you can't change settings while the virtual machine is running. And you can go full screen, but maybe that thing, oh, here we go. Down here, I think that's the thing that was talking about putting this at the top. I always forget about those. No USB devices attached. my computer wants to take forever to scan everything. Putting off eating, and I'm getting hungrier, and now I hear somebody in the kitchen. I was thinking that earlier. Yeah, you're going to mess yourself up and you'll be dying, stick to your stomach. I got involved in this. Once I started it, I was like, that was fun. Everything else I've been doing has been trying to fix things that are broken. It's been wearing me out because I got 3 machines with all kinds of problems. I mean, I'm trying to get to one thing, like the number one thing I want to get done, I keep saying, is Mom's, upgrading Mom's computer, but I keep having to work on everything else. Now, I might not have enough RAM in here because it's not. Let me go see. Are we in trouble? Yeah, it's using 25%. Let me check my stream. I don't have the preview going. It could be overwhelming this machine. I mean, that's pretty much normally what it does do. And I've done this before in previous streams, and it was okay. But make sure. I don't remember. I might have gave it a gig of RAM. Is there 2 of these? Looked like when I was moving that one around. Maybe if it says 9.98 gigabyte, it may have filled itself up. It might have been downloading updates or something. That might be what it is. I think it's about to lock up. I don't think that my host machine is in trouble. I think it's the XP that's in trouble. But, oh. Yeah, I guess it was in trouble because now that I've loaded up my preview, I see that I'm actually on my backup stream because it's the camera instead of the desktop view. I see. I'm glad I had it set up, but I'm not locked up. But maybe I gave it too much to do. Let's see. It's still trying to stream and everything, but it's running on the backup stream. I was like, for a minute, I was like, what in the world? And I remembered everything. That's really nice though to have a backup stream because I wasn't paying, I didn't have I wasn't actively monitoring. That's why I like to leave it running. I didn't have it running, so I didn't, nothing changed. There's no scene changes or anything in the left corner of my eye, and so I didn't see that. But yeah, Windows Explorer is locking up, but it looks like it is filled up. So I'm probably gonna not be able to. Oh, now it starts working, but it's 9.98 gigabyte. That means I've got like probably 200 megabyte or something left. So I don't know that I'll be able to. There might have been 2 of these open. I think I might have thought it didn't open and clicked on it, double-clicked on it too a couple of times. But I think there's only one now. It doesn't look like there's more than one. But it's actually too small of a font for me. All I see is the local disk, and I was looking for. I'm in my computer. Okay, so yeah, if it was mounted, well, I knew it wasn't mounted, but if it was there and available, then it would be. I guess I should do something to try to remedy what went wrong, though. It's still streaming from. Yes. I'm thinking it might. If it recovers, it should come back, but I don't know. Could try stopping the stream and then start it back up again. Or I could close XP. Well, before I close it, I'm going to look at those USB settings like I was fixing to do. And what I'm thinking is I could add one of these generic devices. That may be the only thing I need to do. So let me, okay, I'm going to do that. And since XP is acting up, I mean, since I think that's what's made this machine probably got overwhelmed for a while there, even though it may not be right now. So I'm going to shut down XP. Yeah, it's not responding good again. I might have to give it a little more. Well, maybe I don't want to give it more RAM if that's actually what happened. Of course, I got to remember this machine is not. May not still be running right. You know, my Lenovo i5. It ain't locked up, but yeah, it's. 512 megabytes plenty for XP though. So there we go. But it's moving slow, that's for sure. So I guess I probably shouldn't. I'm just going to turn it off. I probably shouldn't try making it do any work right now. Make sure I get it running good. I need to get that. I've got to figure out. I had it all set up and all my bookmarks and everything, and I was going to try to. I had it figured out how to resize it, make it bigger, and I hadn't done it yet. I didn't have space. I couldn't do it on my old machine. Actually, I'm probably running this. Oh, I may. Yeah, I need to look and see if I'm actually running. If I'm running it straight off of, because I just imported it from my backup drive. I didn't put that VDI over here on this machine, and that's really what I need to do, because that might be why it's running slow. I'm trying to run through USB, you know. Yeah. I thought it would. I did that on purpose because I thought it would do it automatically. Let me close VirtualBox. I thought it would just might do that automatically. Okay, OBS. Now everything's back to normal there. And while I'm thinking about it, let's get this SD card out of there. It's now safe to remove your USB device. Okay, now I'm going to open up Crusader and see if it copied that VDI over to the wait, let's go back there. Is that file 2 gigabytes? It's just, I don't know. We'll see if it gets any bigger than 2 gigabytes. Okay, VirtualBox VMs. See that? I didn't put that there. WinXP virtual machine. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I copied it over. Oh, but it didn't. It doesn't have the whole VDI though. It just has those files. So what I might want to do, well, I guess if you ran that, I might want to copy that file from my backup drive to here and change it. Change the VDI I'm using to the one from this drive. Maybe it would quit doing that too, trying to. Maybe it thinks it's different because it's over on the USB instead of on the host machine actually. But first, I want to see what's wrong. See if I can fix my. Yeah, that's where I would put it. See, it made everything, but it didn't say. It didn't copy that VDI over to here, and those little bitty files are not the virtual machine. But it did make my VirtualBox VMs folder for me. Oh, let's go back to the videos again. Yeah, it's still making a backup video. I mean, I don't want to stop the video unless I have to, but what I think I'm going to have to do is reboot this machine. To make sure that it's okay, but I also need to eat. So, in the interest of computer science, let's reboot the machine. There's two things. Well, there's actually two things. So I'm going to leave it on desktop I'm going to stop streaming, stop recording. It'll still be, and I'll still desktop. I'm going to stop streaming, stop recording. It'll still be, and I'll still be working over there. Yeah, because this won't have anything to do with it because I am on desktop. Okay, and then I'm going to start it again. Let's go ahead and open that back up. So we stopped that. Let's see if it will take over. I see that my screen's still up. Okay, yeah, I was just far enough behind that I wasn't seeing the scene change at all. Okay, now I'm going to start again. Now I think it's going to take back over. I'll switch over to my Files Crusader window so that I can see on my preview if it worked. I can definitely tell the difference between the camera pointed out on an angle at the screen and a real desktop video, though, no matter where I'm at. But I don't know if it's going to work or not.
Take back over. I'll switch over to my files.
It could be that it's, I still haven't completely figured out. It may not always act the same. Like when you just start it back up like that, I think it automatically reverses, changes them. Like this one is now considered the backup stream. But I know I did it at least once, and when it took over from the backup stream, when I was running on a backup stream. So it's been a good while now. It should have already taken over if it was going to. So now I'm getting my backup video, my new backup video. So I'm going to reboot the machine. And it's not my Wi-Fi or anything, or else I wouldn't still be online, you know, with my stream. So that's long enough to tell. I think I'm going to stop them again and put this back in beginning mode here. And go ahead and reboot this machine. And let's see. Still makes me nervous. So I was like, you can't do that. But yes, you can, because you're not streaming from that machine.
And go ahead and reboot this machine.
Okay, yeah, it's just quite a bit behind. I think that the stream, OBS, I think it, especially when your machine gets kind of overwhelmed, I think it starts caching more. And maybe in the, like, and perhaps it gets to a point, obviously it did get to the point it switched over to the backup stream. But once it starts getting behind like that, it caches, and then once it, you know, I can't even say it, the part that I understand, but as it gets behind, let's watch that boot screen. Running for user manager. Oh, this is still shutting down. Stop job is running. So yeah, it's been shutting down really slow. Those two things, shutting down slow and booting up slow, made me realize something was going on with it. But forgot my train of thought there, but about the streams. Well, I completely did. After I get it booted up, I really just want, since I'm still streaming, I just wanted to do it on, go ahead and do it on the stream. I especially like to show how, if I find a way to get around problems and stuff, and I'm already streaming, I'd especially like to show that, you know. Okay, now it's still shutting down. It's just telling all the things it's stopping and everything. Well, I'll get to watch it boot up and see if any of that stuff is fixed. But as to why it, I lost my stream, it had to have been just because I was running VirtualBox, and this machine just couldn't handle it for whatever reason. I mean, I've done it quite a few times before and it worked, but maybe it had already got tired. Failed to start kernel modules. System CTL status, system D modules load service for details. Well, I don't know. I did that that's what I just did, and everything said it was running. And it's back to that same one, dev mapper, Fedora, swap, root. It keeps changing, but it's trying to mount both of those. But they were mounted, and I was fine before. So I don't know why it's stopping there and taking so long. It wasn't doing that. But this is Lenovo i5. But it does say X2. This is Lenovo i5. Not forward slash, but backslash X2 D, and then it'll go root swap dot device, and then there's the whole rest of it. Dev mapper Fedora Lenovo i5, and it just sits there doing that until I thought it was just giving up, but maybe it's actually finally making it. I don't know. That one yellow note that pops up, I never see it. I look away and then I don't see what it says. Same other thing about etc multipath config. It's blacklisting all devices. And I already did that. Ran sbin mpath config, KlamAV, I mean. I did that. It said it was, said it was good. So I don't think I've really figured anything out, except for I've kind of confirmed these errors. I found them in the logs and stuff, and I ran the stuff they said to run. Looked like it worked, but nothing seems to have changed. Well, and it could be when I it could be when I was running. Go ahead and log in. Could be that it's already not working just right because of what these errors, whatever that's going on with them. And so then when I ran VirtualBox, I just put it over. I shouldn't really have any. I mean, it has to be the machine not being worked too hard, because this has got a gigabit Ethernet, and my router's a gigabit router, and these streams are, the total stream is around a megabit. Yeah, because I've only got 4 megabits upload speed, and and I've done speed tests quite a few times, you know, and I'm usually like 3-something megabits of in my speed test while I'm doing a stream. So now that I've rebooted, I'll go ahead and start things up and see if I'll be able to switch over to the stream from this machine. Go ahead and get my file manager up so that I can, my Crusader, so I can see when it happens. see that my video is working right and everything. Normally I always do a screen test before I go live, but I'm still live. So, boy, it was really good. I just had the strongest feeling I should start that back up. I'm glad I did now, because it was so aggravating yesterday when my stream broke in the middle of mid-sentence 3 or 4 times yesterday. So I'm going to go straight to desktop screencast and hit start. Now let's see if it takes over this time. Make sure everything looks okay. Yeah, nothing looks like it's overworking or anything. And yeah, I got the SM58 going on this machine. Of course, I'm talking, as soon as I went to backup stream, my Wi-Fi mic is the only thing connected that can connect to the, I can only hook this, well, I can, but it doesn't work well. There's only one good main output to hook into a machine for the going from my mixer, my mic to my mixer to my VM effects. It comes out of the VM effects and into the computer. And there is an earphone out, but it is noisy as all get out. So yeah, I don't use it for recording. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit start stream now. And we'll kind of watch and see if it takes over. I'm on desktop, right? Yep, on desktop. Making a video file, backup video file. And see if this can take over from that, you know, because this one is set as the primary stream and the other one's set as the backup stream. I'd like to know for sure how that works, because it may not, like I said, I thought twice really that it took over as soon as I started it, because I had thought I'd figured out, well, I can start this one and then it becomes the backup stream and I have to go over there and shut down the other stream. But it took over once or twice. So and I thought maybe it was, you know, how do you how do you have it set? So what I did is I made two profiles, one identical profiles except for one difference is one is set to be a backup stream and the other is set to be a primary stream, and I'd put those on both machines. And I usually just leave this one in primary and the other ASRock in backup. And so when but actually I think yeah, I think you do have to have that set right. Well, sort of, because like right now, this is running, and I think the server sees it as the backup stream, even though I got it marked as the primary stream. And I think if I go over there and kill the stream on the ASRock, then it will come back to this machine. So I think I may do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and quit and go eat and stuff. And then if I do any more work this evening, it'll be after my supper. But yeah, it's not going to switch all on its own. And so anything I do over here, see, doesn't matter. Well, I mean, it matters as far as you're going to see it on the camera, whatever I do. But like I switched to, you know, the camera one, where you can see me. But of course, all you're seeing is a preview of me instead of, yeah, now I see it over there on the preview of my stream.
Well, here, see, that's
So. Yeah, I can't, if I want to play, like if I do want to play, I can go over there and play my exit music and do all that stuff. Maybe that's all I really should do. Well, of course, if I stop that, now that I got this running, if I stop that, this one's going to take over, I think. So, got myself turned around. Let's see. Well, I'm going to leave this on in camera on me, and then yeah, I'll close Crusader. I don't need Crusader. So I'll leave this on camera on me, and yeah, I'll do it like this. And then I'm gonna switch over there, and I'll stop that one. But I believe this one's gonna take over. Or I could just quit on that one in the first place, couldn't I? The other one has not this one has not done anything yet, so I'm going to stop it. That's the most, I think that makes the most sense. Okay, now you'll see the thing you're going to see is whatever is on this monitor over here until I switch monitors, right? Okay, I'm really turned around. Trying to figure all that out with my brain half working and then having everything go into backup mode. Okay, so I turned that off. Now I'm on this machine. Oh, there's always a possibility that this one won't actually work. Okay, well, so far so good. All right, let's just try to, I'm just going to play my music out and say goodbye. I'm going to eat supper and stuff, and hopefully I'll come back and work some more. I can switch over here on this machine to the camera now. And let's see. Yep, it's still running, and I can tell that's what you're seeing. I haven't seen just me on the camera yet, but I should here in a minute. And there we go. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't think I made any actual headway. I looked through all that stuff, but did what the notes, what the instructions said to do, but nothing seems any different. So I'm just going to have to keep going at that and go at it a little longer, and if it's just too much trouble, I'll just reformat that machine again and start from scratch again. It's just so much quicker to do that than it would be to, I mean, I do have a lot of work to do if I do that, because, I've got my email all set up and all those things. Quite a few things that I've already done. So I'm not going to just lightheartedly do that. Anyway, it's done. I'm going to go now. And, yeah, maybe the camera view, the one with it right here behind me, as long as if I'm not getting up and down, I don't bang into it. I haven't got up once, but if I'm getting up and working on hardware, I think I'll knock it all over the room. So I don't think I can always leave it there. But anyway, see if that looks any better in the video when I'm showing the screen. That's the thing. Since I actually ended up having to be on the backup stream for a long time, and I was on it when I didn't even know it, it was good that it was a little more clear, So anyway, see you later. Okay, bye-bye.